Dear classmates, I congratulate us for having the power. Who would have thought one can major in social media, minor in cartology, or major in Mobile Legends, minor in Ensaymada Baking, or major in TikTok, minor in anime studies. Totoo and chismis, we really can do it all. And since we still have loads to discover, it is time to get giga-powered with Smart Gigapower. Enjoy 20 gigabytes for all sites and apps for only 149 pesos, so we can jump from app to app, passion to passion, chika to chika.
Para more ang saya.
Get giga-powered na day!
My apologies. Download the GigaLife app and choose Gigapower. Simple, smart code.
Not in my house. Let's go! Come on, come on!
Hi, you talk about reaching back and throwing it down.
And the bench loves it.
Oh my God! And on three. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to the Muntinlupa Sports Center. In a few minutes, we will have the second game of our triple header para sa araw na ito sa ating PhilBasket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold. It will be the winless ICC Bluehawks taking on the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, coming off an emotional win last night, but on the tail end of a back-to-back. We're going to get to talk about that and so much more heading into this matchup. Noel Zaratico, kasama si Nico Quintong. I hope I said that right. Quintong, right?
You got it right, sir. No problem with that.
All right, so we are now going to look at these two teams with alternate streaks. Two-game winning streak para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, and ICC Bluehawks have yet to pick up a victory.
Yes, but the upside for the ICC Bluehawks team is that they're such a youthful group of players, Noel. So they have yet to get their footing in this tournament, but this win in this ball game can be big for them.
Well, let's talk about these ICC Bluehawks. Alam naman po natin, Immaculada Concepcion College based in Bulacan. So we have a bunch of students reinforced by a few masasabi natin mga journeymen, but it's really more of the students who have really stepped up para sa kanila. They are #1 in the league in rebounding and #4 in terms of scoring. But you know what? If you're leading the league in rebounding and you still haven't picked up a victory, tell me how that happens.
Well, ironically, Noel, when you say it all together, the rebounding is good, but they haven't been able to pick up a victory. And that's because they've just allowed teams scoring a lot of points against them. And credit to their youth. They've been a good team on the hustle end, and that's why they're such a young and active team on the boards. But they have to be able to gel offensively. You only have two guys stepping up, guys like Jake Gaspay and Jeric Garcia. But if you get the others involved, like the bench, then all the more this team could be a threat.
And of course, no Ray De Mesa to speak of right now, who's still nursing an injury. Tignan natin yung kanilang huling laban. This was a thrashing, a 27-point loss at the hands of Atami Sardines Zamboanga. Alam naman natin that they actually were in the game, etong kupunan ng ICC, towards the halftime break, but then, of course, it was all Atami after that.
Yes, and credit that to the experience of the Atami Sardines Zamboanga. We could see how ICC has yet to grow more as a team. They have a young core group of players, so they want to be able to step up in terms of experience. But if they do play more composed, more patient offensively, then they can make a mark in this tournament.
Let's take a look at the rebounding numbers. Of course, 50-40 naman in favor of ICC in that game. Jake Gaspay with a big bounce back. Tandaan natin, he started the season scoring 35 points. He has struggled since, but then 24 points naman ang huling laban niya.
Yes, and ICC has just been running the offense through Gaspay all throughout this tournament, Noel. He's performed well recently, 24 points in that last outing, but there will have to be other contributors to this ICC team if they want to be successful.
One of the other contributors, of course, that you mentioned already kanina, ito si Jeric Garcia. He's been very consistent, 12.3 points a game ang kanyang dinadala. But again, he's a volume shooter, 13 of 33 field goals so far in this tournament.
Yes, Jeric Garcia, another key factor. He's playing Batman and Robin with Jake Gaspay. So two key players for ICC, but the bench has to be able to step up if they want to be successful.
For the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, of course, after losing their opener, they have won 2 straight, one by a blowout, and that emotional win yesterday over the San Juan Knights. Masasabi nga natin controversial win. It was a 1-point victory, but that was a grinded out.
Oh, it was definitely a grinded out team. And what fascinates me about this Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors team, Noel, is that they can play both ways. They can go fast, they could go slow. So they've been really experienced on all ends. And as good as this team looks on paper is how good they play.
How about June Manzo, of course? That we are looking at Ryan Costelo right now para sa kupunan ng Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. Their guards have been stellar. You're talking about Costelo, you're talking about Manalang, but again, June Manzo was the only one who actually hit double figures yesterday with 18.
June Manzo is another key player for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. He's been able to dictate the offense for this team so far, Noel. His ability to run the floor, to be able to slow down the pace of the ball game, and this guy has a lot of heart and fighting spirit in him.
And speaking of fighting, from one UP Maroon and myself, over to Megan Cabrera, who is with June Manzo.
Maraming salamat, Noel and Nico. We're here with June Manzo. June, so I just want to ask you, you came from a hamstring injury from last season, and right now you definitely came back stronger. Can you tell me more about that?
Unang-una nagpapasalamat ako sa ng liga na to na PhilBasket, kasi kung wala to, wala masyadong opportunity sa mga ibang players na hindi nakapunta sa PBA.
Okay, and with that one, sabi nga nila, ikaw ang talagang gumawa dun sa past game against San Juan. Ang question sa maraming utak right now, was it a revenge game?
For me, wala namang personalan, kasi ang goal lang naman is makakuha ng maraming wins para makakompete sa next round.
All right, thank you so much, June, and good luck for the game today. Back to you, Noel and Nico.
So we got two UP Maroons right there in Megan Cabrera and June Manzo. But again, the fireworks will begin for game number 2 as the Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors hope to make a 3-game win streak. Samantala ICC looking for win number 1. We will have the action when we return right here on the Phil Basket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold.
Matchup here at Muntinlupa Sports Center, it's ICC Bluehawks versus Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors. This is your Field Basket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold. Now the starters beginning with the ICC Bluehawks. Point guard from City of San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, 5'7", number 11, Alfred Flores. Also at guard from Sual, Pangasinan, 6'1", number 28, Jeric Garcia. At forward from Narciso Zambales, 6'4", number 24, Jake Gaspay. Power forward from Calasiao, Pangasinan, 6'3", number 19, Julian Soriano. And at center from Pura Tarlac, 6'4", number 3, Jared Vento. Head coach for the ICC Bluehawks is Jay Agsalud, assisted by Christian Domingo. Now the starting unit for the Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors. Starting at center from San Sebastian College of Recoleta, 6'6", number 18, Jason Ballesteros. Playing forward from FAU, 6'3", number 37, J.M. Gonzalez. And the other forward from UP, 6'2", number 0, Dave Moralde. Starting at guard from Adamson University, 5'8", number 22, Rob Manalang. Also at guard from UST, 5'10", number 30, Tata Bautista. Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors head coach is Bong de la Cruz. Happy birthday!
Naunahan na tayo ni Richard Campos. Happy birthday to Coach Bong de la Cruz. Kausap ko kanina, I was not aware that it was his birthday today. Starters para sa magkabilang kumpanan, ICC and Pasig Sta Lucia here, Nico.
Yes, very intact lineup for both of these teams. They're very consistent with their starting five. ICC looking to run with their roster right here. You have a heavy guard lineup for both teams. Ngayon naman itong Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors, they also want to play a balanced offense.
Well, titignan natin if they can actually do better than what they did last time. It was a low-scoring affair. Kalaban nila yung San Juan Knights go for gold. So I'm sure the game plan para kay Coach Bong de la Cruz is to blow away these kids as early as possible. What do you think?
Yes, that's what you want to do, Noel. Especially when you're going up against a young team like ICC. You do not want to give these kids any momentum moving forward.
Especially that guy, Jake Gaspay, as he misses on his first attempt. Gaspay gets it back, however. At ito naman kumpuna ng Pasig Sta Lucia, you know, they are a team that debuted late. They were actually the last team that played dito. And they're supposed to be very well rested, but this is the first time they're playing in back-to-back days.
Yes, and that's a testament to their experience. And we will see if it does well for their momentum or if it will help them be able to move forward.
And they really had to gut it out yesterday against the San Juan Knights. And usually, gusto mo yan, the front end of a back-to-back, you don't want to really exert so much because you know that you're going to be going up against another team later on. As we have the first 2 points of the game, that is scored para sa ICC.
Nice. ICC doing a terrific job there, attacking the defense of Pasig early on in this matchup.
As Jared Vento with the first 2 points of the game. So ito baliktad para sa Pasig. You know, they actually had a really tough win yesterday. Now they're going up against a relatively light opponent, which they also cannot, you know, take for granted dito, Nico.
That's right, Noel. You said it. They cannot take this game for granted. A relatively weaker opponent itong ICC, but this team is a very young core group of players. You have guys like Jake Gaspay who want to bring momentum to this team.
Well, again, 5-0 start naman para dito sa kumpunan ng ICC Bluehawks. Looking for win number 1. They've lost all of their 5 games here so far. And you know, if you're a college team playing in the pros, it's really more for experience, really. And we have an inside attack. That would have been a good one there coming from Soriano, but it is now Pasig Santa Lucia on the attack. We expect to see a lot from this guy. Tata Bautista lines it up. Wala. On the rebound, J.M. Gonzalez with the first 2 points of the game for the Realtors.
And the hustle points for Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors have been on point all throughout their past games. They have been able to take it on both ends of the floor.
Finally, a basket. So 5-2 po ang ating score. Just over 2 minutes gone by here in the first. Gaspay attracting the defense. And they move it around now. Papunta rito kay Alfred Flores, who lost his footing and lost the ball. Dave Moralde. 2 guys pursuing. I'm not sure if they're going to be fast enough to stop the former UP Maroon.
Yes, Moralde still has that speed he had in college, Noel. He could run the floor, but what's significant about Moralde is his ability as a big to be able to run the floor, so it opens up a lot of things offensively.
Can actually play a little bit of point forward as well. Itong si Moralde is going to have a whistle to halt play. Stay right here, sabi ng ating referees, and that's going to go against the Realtors.
And ICC now, Noel, they're doing a terrific job of really taking the offense to Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. They're very fearless to start this game, and that's something you want to do as a young team. Show that palag kayo,
Yeah,
you could actually keep up.
I also like the way that Jake Gaspay is actually shooting from the outside muna ngayon, because alam naman natin, yes, he's a dunker, he's an inside threat. He's got a lot of these YouTube videos showing that he can dunk, but yeah, shooting from the outside is something that he needs to develop. Tandaan natin, Gaspay is only 20 years old, Nico. Just 2 years younger than you.
Hey, now you remind me, Noel, I gotta check out those YouTube videos. I didn't know we had those, but that man's a walking highlight. He has been a walking highlight all throughout this tournament.
So Gaspay is going to collect his first foul. Good aggressive start naman para dito kay Dave Moralde. Played for Medical Depot in the last season. Of course, Subic naganap yun. And gave a good account of himself there. And the fill basket, of course, is brought to us by Celium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. So Moralde rolls in 2. So he owns 4 of the 6 points para sa Pasig Santa Lucia so far. So after falling behind 0-5, 6 unanswered now for the Realtors. Here's Flores on the drop pass inside. Great defense that time. However, tatapak daw sa labas itong si Soriano.
ICC now is playing with a lot of intention, Noel. You see, they're not settling for any outside looks. They're really taking it hard to the defense of the Realtors.
This is actually supposed to be the best unit already para dito sa kupunan ng ICC Bluehawks. Moralde surveying. Again, here's his point forward skill. I mean, you have 2 very gifted guards there in Bautista and Manalang. Here's Bautista, left open from the same spot, and he continues to miss. Jason Ballesteros with the offensive rebound. Rob Manalang, they continue to feed Tata. This time gets blocked by Gaspay.
Good defense by Gaspay.
And Gaspay now on offense, took his eye off the ball. He was shooting it before he caught it.
That's right. And a little bit antsy there for Jake Gaspay. But ICC doing a terrific job, really putting the pressure on the Pasig City Realtors. They're actually dictating the pace now, Noel. They want to play fast.
Well, here's Tyrone Pierce-Chan, seeing his first action of the game. 3 holdovers from the old Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors from Subic. Moralde is not one of them. He tees up on a 3 and gets it to go.
And Moralde's ability to hit from outside just opens up a lot of things for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors offensively.
Yeah, there was a game when he was playing for Medical Depot. He actually scored 16 points in 1 quarter. So he can light it up, really. He's got 7 so far of the 9 for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. And a foul against the White Shirts.
And ICC, they have to be able to clamp down defensively on Moralde, Noel, because if he gets his rhythm early on in this ball game, it's going to cause the Bluehawks a lot of problems. So ICC doing a terrific job on the 1-2-2 zone they're giving, but they have to put more pressure on Moralde.
Mahirap din dyan. Later on, we're going to talk about that. Megan Cabrera has an update from courtside. Go ahead, Megan.
Thanks so much, Noel and Nico. I was able to speak with both coaches, and according to Coach Segundo de la Cruz of Pasig, mataas ang moral ng mga players after their win, and they want to keep it going. They have a good mix of young players and veterans, and every player is expected to fill any gaps in any players. Now, on the other hand, Coach Jay Agsalud, they are still struggling to secure their first win for ICC. Sabi nga niya, malalakas ang kanilang mga kalaban, but they need to keep going strong. And sabi niya, hindi naman dito natatapos ang basketball, and they just have to keep working until they reach their level. Noel and Nico?
You know, 3 teams, Megan and Nico, that will really benefit from seeing action here in field basket are the 2 college teams, AMA and ICC, and Kuala Lumpur Asil. I mean, these are the reason why they joined here is for developmental purpose, as finally Tata Bautista knocks down a 3. We're going to talk more about Tata Bautista and the rest of Pasig Santa Lucia as they have opened up a 12-0 run after falling behind 5-0. Tata Bautista knocks down this three with this instant replay. Brought to us by Smart Simple. Smart Ako. Timeout ICC. We'll be right back. Back with us here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center, Game 2 of our triple header sa araw na ito. Noel Zarate alongside Nico Aaron Quintong. I have to say this correctly. I've been calling you Quintong for like the past, 3 years? I mean, really, just the etymology of the name. Quintong, where is your family from?
Well, some people think we have Chinese blood, Noel.
Okay.
But really, we grew up in we're pure Filipino, but we grew up in the States for 4 years. Stayed there for 4 years, and we also have some American blood to us. That's why you see the Aaron.
Okay.
The Aaron side. But it's Quintong, so yes, you said it perfectly.
Okay,
so thank you for that. I appreciate that.
Just wanted to make sure that I'm not screwing up my partner's name, otherwise he'll screw me over. Tata Bautista knocked down a 3 earlier. Tanda natin, Tata Bautista did not score in the first 2 games para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, but contributed heavily yesterday as finally the bench comes into play naman para dito sa ICC.
ICC is playing relentless now, Noel. Despite the score, they're really taking it to the Realtors. I like the body language we're seeing from these young guns right here.
Yeah, he's not a off the bench player, actually starter pa rin. Ito si Jeric Garcias. Rob Manalang continues to fire para dito sa Pasig Santa Lucia.
And if you're ICC, you're doing well offensively, but you have to get some stops on defense because you can't go back and forth with this Pasig team.
We're still in the middle of a 14-2 run para dito sa kupunan ng Pasig Santa Lucia. That's a miss coming from Flores. And we have Tamayo seeing his first action of the game. Lester Tamayo. Manalang likes to shoot a lot from that point guard position. Tamayo finding Tyrone Pierce. Chan hits the medium range shot.
And to have a luxury of a Tyrone Chan in your team, Noel, his off-ball movement allowed him to make that shot there.
And he's been doing that para kay Coach Bong de la Cruz since last year. And Subic, in the meantime, there's going to be a drive para dapat dito kay Daniel Abo, but he was stopped by a foul.
And the interesting thing about this Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors team, Noel, they could play both ways. They could play fast in transition, or they could slow it down to a set offense. So a team that's used to both kinds of rhythm.
Well, our first look now at Jun Manzo, who had 18 points yesterday in the victory against the San Juan Knights. The only guy in double figures para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, as we thank Cantigo Scoreboard Multi-Sports Scoring Solutions. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will go to Pasig Santa Lucia.
And Santa Lucia now putting more pressure on ICC defensively. They're noticing these young guns playing with a lot of momentum. So that last play there, they were able to get a good stop.
This is a 16-2 run ongoing para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, and more power has been inserted. Tyrone Chan missing on the 3. Tamayo clears it. Manalang thought about it. Tries to drop it inside to Tamayo, who had his back to the ball.
And just an observation, Noel, ICC Bluehawks, they're a young core group of players. They're good, but they have to box out more.
Yeah. Well, to think that they're #1 in rebounding without needing to box out. Of course, Happily is available via delivery and takeouts a grab. We're going to have a backing violation as we have Ryan Costelo scored 18 points in their first game. Will replace itong si Rob Manalang. What a luxury for Bong de la Cruz na naiikot niya yung mga gwardiya niya. As Damian Lasco will also see his first action of the game. You have 3 very talented guards. Isama mo pa dyan etong si yung nambigla ng isang araw, itong si Nobil Lucero. So that's 4 excellent guards that you can actually go to at any given time.
That's right, Noel. The guard lineup for this Realtors team has been off the charts. They're very heavy of a guard team. That's why on paper, you have a lot of people you can go to. You have the Manzos, the Costelos, the Manalang. So they could all be key factors for Pasig moving forward.
Long shots producing long rebounds after a miss. Here's June Manzo. Tries to split the defense. Fighting Lasco on the other end. Damian Lasco likes to take it inside. And Tyrone Chan will visit the free throw line. If that's on Gaspay, that's his second.
Yes, not the best foul you could give if you're Gaspay. That was a bit unnecessary for him because he came from behind. The assignment for this man right here in the replay is the man in front. It's not your responsibility to come from behind and hit him hard like that. So Gaspay has to be more disciplined defensively.
Jake Gaspay already with 2 fouls. That's going to be a problem for Coach Jake Absolute. As itong si Jay Absolute rather, as itong si Tyrone Chan makes good on his first free throw. Tyrone Chan, soft touch for a big guy, is about 6'2", 6'3", and Gaspay will go to the bench now, Nico. As we have our first look now para dito sa kupunan ng ICC Bluehawks kay Gerard Cabreros. Time down to under 3 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. 10-point lead now is the largest para sa Pasig Santa Lucia. It is a 17-2 run. They try to get it around now. Three-pointer on its way, and that is good. Kapapasok pa lang nito si Cabreros, and he is like instant offense.
Yes, ICC has a lot of potential to shoot from deep, Noel. They had 46.9% shooting that last game, so this team could actually shoot.
Wilson is the official game ball of the 2022 Phil Basket. Pati yung depensa ng ICC Bluehawks umiigting na rin. They forced the miss, and now they get the ball back.
Yes, that shot gave them a lot of confidence moving forward in this ball game. So if you're a young squad, you really want to take advantage of every opportunity you get.
Here's Rosal. I'm pretty impressed with the speed of this guy. Sort of reminds you of a very young Brit Roma, the way he plays.
That's right, Noel.
That's right. Penetration ngayon. Parang Imanzo was denied by the defense. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining dito sa ating first quarter. Open shot again. Tyrone Chan off the bench.
And you know what they say, Noel? That was good defense by ICC, but the Realtors just had better offense.
10-20 ang ating score dito. So itong kupunan ng ICC Bluehawks just trying to hang in there to keep the first quarter close. We got 6 on the shot clock, still nothing going. Three-pointer on its way. Cabreros, that's a wild one. Costelo on the outlet pass. Damian Lasco is going to finish.
Pasig is doing an excellent job putting pressure on their 1 and 2 guards dito, Noel. You see, they're forcing ICC to move the ball and give up that ball early on.
Here's a luxury also para kay Coach Bong de la Cruz. Damian Lasco did not see any action yesterday. And away from play, Cabreros getting entangled with Lasco. They're going to call this on Chan.
And if you're Damian Lasco, you have a lot of pent-up energy in you, Noel. Kaya it's very good to put him in this early on in the ball game kasi hindi nga nakalaro kahapon. So ngayon, he has a lot of opportunities to prove himself.
And I think for Bong de la Cruz, looking at the lineup or the roster he's going up against, he may opt to rest some of the players na may karamdaman. Like Jerick Teng played yesterday, not very many minutes, but Jerick Teng coming off an injury, had to see action. Now, probably we won't see him in this game. As June Manso picks up the steal. Transition 3. June Manso nails it.
That's big. And as you mentioned earlier, Noel, it's a smart thing to do if you're passing. You're up big in this ball game. You want to rest your key players moving forward.
Manso was one of the key players yesterday, seeing a lot of minutes here. And there is a basket by Abo. And he looks like he is hurt. Oh, he can't even put any weight on his leg right now. I don't know kung naramdaman mo na yan. I mean, knee-on-knee action. Nico, I don't know if you ever got hit in the inner part of your knee. That's going to debilitate you for a few seconds.
I did before, Noel, and that kind of impact, it really takes a toll on your body, especially when you get it early on in the ball game. When you go up in the air, like me before personally, I've experienced lots of those. I went up in the air, and then I've got a lot of knee-to-knee action with these tough, big sets. And these guys were bigger than me, so it really pains you moving forward. But we have to hope that this is something he could shake off kasi it just takes some stretching.
Well, yeah, he is now trying to walk on his own power. Ang hirap talaga niyan. It all depends on the intensity of saan tumama sa tuhod. Like right there, you're gonna see it right here. So I'm not sure if it was on the contact, but he felt something pop in his left knee. I'm sure Megan is going to get a report in just a few moments.
And the knee, Noel, that's a very sensitive part if you're an athlete. You really want to take care of that part. So let's hope he's okay and just stretch it off later on.
It's too early for cramps, that's for sure.
Yes.
And these are kids we're talking about here. 25-13 ang ating score. Manzo gets away!
Manzo is tough. I mean, this kid, I've watched him ever since UP, Noel, and he's always had that nitty-gritty attitude to his game.
14-point lead now para sa Pasig Santa Lucia as Rosal finds a way to manufacture free throws. So that is Darvin James Rosal as we take a look at our Pure Gold move of the game. Presented to us by Pure Gold. 2 inches na lamang supalpal na yon. But ito, naunahan nga nito si June Manzo as Rosal nails the first free throw.
Manzo is a high IQ player, Noel. His game just continues to grow. Ever since his days with UP, he's been able to progress as a point guard who can not only shoot from 3, but he could also take it inside the paint.
The 2 free throws drop naman para dito kay Rosal. His opposite number here is Ryan Costelo, former San Sebastian star. And Jeric Teng, well, it looks like we don't know what Coach Bong de la Cruz has in mind. Jeric Teng is seeing some spot minutes here. Did not play a couple of games ago. Manzo, Teng on the 2-man game. Ryan Costello open for 3. And it is picked up now by the Bluehawks. Still have enough time. 1 second to go. They got to put it up. They do. But that is a miss. And at the end of the first 10 minutes of action, the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, as expected, opening up a double-digit spread against the college team, the Immaculada Concepcion College Bluehawks from Bulacan, 27-15. It all started actually with the ICC getting a 5-point lead, but then Pasig Santa Lucia went on a wicked run to get them this 12-point lead after the first quarter. We will have more action from the 2022 PhilBasket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold when we return. Stay with us. Start of the second quarter dito sa ating labanan, the green shirts of the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors looking for their 3rd consecutive win as they take on the ICC Bluehawks in white. And Noel Zarate pa rin po kasama si Nico Aaron Quintong and Megan Cabrera. I'm with the kids today, guys. Here is Rosal. Speaking of kids, one of the youngsters getting the steal here para sa koponan ng ICC Bluehawks. This goes into a 3-pointer, which is missed by Cabreros, and he gets it back. Soriano operating inside with the extra pass. Nicely done by ICC.
Very patient there for ICC in that offensive possession, Noel. Playing with more maturity to start this second quarter.
Yao Bautista coming off the bench with his first field goal of the game. Lead is down to 10. Manzo, no. Battle for the rebound. Ballesteros using his long arms to tap that out. Manzo attacks once again, this time against 3 white shirts. Damian Lasco short on the 3. So good stop once again for ICC. They have to count their little victories dito, Nikos. Rosal draws the foul against Manzo.
Yes, they really do have to take key in the small things they're doing. And the body language for ICC has really been consistent all throughout this game. You don't want to show that you're the younger team. You want to show that even if you are relatively inexperienced compared to the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, you could still keep up. And so far, so good for ICC. They just have to be able to get stops defensively.
They are still down by 10. Here's Rosal. Ballesteros meeting him. He's giving up about 2 meters in terms of height against Ballesteros. That's a miss from the outside. Once again, this time by Yao Bautista. Manzo quickening the pace once again. UP to UP connection here. Moralde. Manzo. They get it out to the guy from USD. Teng. Over to the guy from San Sebastian. That is a miss for Ryan Costello inside. Eto naman si Moralde. Can't get it to go. Oh, everybody diving for the ball here for ICC. Manzo, shot clock is down to less than 5 seconds. Manzo hears the music, puts it up, three-pointers a miss. So great defensive stand here for ICC as we send it to Megan Cabrera.
Thanks so much, Noel. Just an update, Daniel Abo is out with a knee injury. Medyo natuhuran lang siya. And he did hear an audible pop, but he is still doing well. Pain level is 6 out of 10. It's not a chronic injury, and he's still hoping to come back to the game after. Noel?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to come back if you hear a pop in the knee. He'd better just rest that right now. But let's see, baka may itong mga batang to, baka mabilis pa yung pag-Wolverine recovery skills. We'll see as Manzo is able to score.
And that's the advantage you have when you're young. You could really shrug off things like that easily. But you have to be smart also, whether to know if it's worth it to come back or save it for the next game.
How about Rosal creating space there against Costelo and scoring? So itong kupunan ng ICC keeping up with the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, down by only 10 again. Ballesteros forced into a miss, and he is angry at himself. He was like Gulliver in Lilliput that time, and he missed it as Rosal gets fouled on the ground by Jeric Teng.
And now, Noel, ICC really has to take advantage. Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, the past trips, they haven't been able to score the basketball, so they have to take advantage of these offensive looks they're getting.
Look at that last play coming dito kay Rosal, using his wide frame to create space. And magkakaroon tayo ng balasa ng tao dito. Jake Gaspay has returned. If you're just joining us and you're looking for the youngster, ito si Jake Gaspay. Picked up 2 early fouls in the first quarter, was forced to sit down. So let's see if he can avoid picking up foul number 3 early here in the second, with still 7 and 18 remaining. Here's Bautista, getting it outside. Soriano thought about it, now puts it on the floor. Soriano changing directions and scoring.
That's a tough move, Noel, and I hope we get a replay of that later.
Yeah.
Soriano went on his off foot, and when you get off your off foot, it catches the defense off guard.
So it is now 29-21. Inuunti-unti na ito ng ICC Bluehawks. Moralde, Manalang back in. Gets it out to Dave. Three-pointer on its way. That's the second one for Dave Moralde.
Just when you think ICC has a lot of momentum, Moralde just silences them with that three-pointer.
11-point lead now for Pasig Santa Lucia. Here's Flores. Looking for a friend, getting it out now to Soriano. Nice fake. Soriano on the penetration. Good defense by Ballesteros. Gaspay can't get it to go. Bautista inside. 4th attempt coming up now for ICC, and he still can't get it to go.
The hustle game of ICC has been off the charts, Noel, but they just have to convert.
Here's Lucero, always traveling 100 miles an hour. Traveled too fast that time. Lost the ball and commits the foul.
And ICC now, they're really doing a terrific job putting so much effort in their plays, not giving up after a miss. They just really have to convert on all of their plays so far.
Well, Lucero called for his first foul. Magkakaroon tayo ng palitan para dito sa kupunan ng ICC Bluehawks. So Cabreros is gonna take a seat at babalik ngayon etong si Garcia. Again, the starters para dito sa kupunan ng ICC are really having a lot of minutes throughout this tournament. Let's see if the bench gives them a little bit of a breather. Nice penetrating move, and that is a basket para naman dito kay Roger Ondoa.
Ondoa, he's always been known for his athleticism, Noel, really using it to his advantage in that last play. He saw a lapse by Santa Lucia defensively, and that is why he was able to attack the paint.
Here's that moving zone defense you were talking about earlier. Moralde hit two three-pointers already earlier, and he has that one tapped away. And they will keep it with 4 seconds to shoot.
And this is where you see how much of a tactician Jay Agsalud is as a coach, Noel, in this defense. But let's check out this replay right here. Ondoa, nakita ng butas niya. He was able to penetrate that zone defense. So, terrific move there by Ondoa.
That was, of course, our Pure Gold move of the game, brought to us by Pure Gold, as we will have a timeout. Coach Bong de la Cruz wants to make some adjustments. 32-23, a 9-point lead for the Realtors. We'll be right back. As we continue with our second quarter, 5:39 remaining dito sa ating second game. It is 32 for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors and 23 for the ICC Bluehawks. Another stop para dito sa koponan ng ICC. They missed the layup though. And Ondoa, a little bit of action here between Gonzalez and Garcia after that. They will look at this right now. So maki-review na rin tayo dito, Nico. What happened after this?
So Garcia just missing that Gaspay. Excellent hustle there. Pero medyo on the landing of Garcia, he hit Gonzalez on the head for a bit. So that kind of caught Gonzalez on his bad side. But nothing intentional there for either side.
Di rin naman nagkatamaan after that. But still, Gonzalez was just trying to protect himself. So there's nothing untoward. They'll just call the foul. So JM Gonzalez will be called for the foul. I'm sure when Gonzalez realized that there was like a kid in front of him, so, okay, stop.
Yeah, that's the maturity kicking in for Gonzalez, not wanting to cause any unnecessary technical fouls here for Santa Lucia.
Yeah, Coach Jag Salud is actually looking for free throws. This was actually after the shot, so this is the correct call. Here's Flores. Actually, this kid's also giving a good account of himself. Needs a field basket, hanging with the mature guards. O masasabi natin, the experienced guards here. Three-pointer is a miss para kay Garcia. Soriano getting it out to Flores once again. Oh, nice sidestep inside. Alfred Flores gets it to go.
Now that is a thing of beauty, Noel. When we see a slow-mo of that later, the timing on those two steps for Flores, it caught everyone frozen on that play.
From a high of 15, the lead is down to 7. So far, so good. Para sa ICC Bluehawks. Oh, here's Lucero. Nobi is just going to toy with these kids.
And that was just an icebreaker for Lucero.
Nobi Lucero had a player of the game citation also a couple of games ago when he came away with 16 points and no misses from the field, 6 of 6. Three-pointer, Flores, no. Battle for the rebound. Makukuha ngayon ng Pasig Santa Lucia. And Lucero is gonna slow things down. Nice seal inside para kay Tamayo. Lester triple team that allowed himself to get blocked. As we have Tata Bautista coming back in. I mean, Bautista doesn't really see a lot of minutes, but when he's in there, he'd better make sure that he performs well. Alfred Flores with a pretty move earlier, pero bilis ang bawi dito ni Nobi Lucero.
Strong baseline drive for Lucero. They're very fearless. Despite not being the tallest guy in the floor right now, he is very tough and gutsy with that baseline drive.
Yeah, we got a bench warning now on ICC. They're starting to get a little emotional. So 34-25 ang ating score. Rob Manalang, so far quiet in this game. Jumper is a miss, and out of nowhere, Ondoa able to get to it. Ondoa's gonna keep it himself, but sabi ni Tata, they're gonna count this one.
Yeah, give them something, Ondoa. That's some swagger on that play right there. Ondoa really taking it strong dito sa depensa ng Realtors. Very fearless drive for Ondoa.
That's a great move there for this youngster and able to draw the foul from Clark Bautista. Missed on the free throw though, but that lead is down to 7. So the second quarter, medyo nangangamote ang Pasig Santa Lucia. Nothing seems to be working for them on a consistent level. Lucero on the drive. Bautista, his favorite angle. Three-pointer not there. He is 1 for 4 from that spot. Flores makes his move. Flores partially deflected by Gonzalez. Tamayo now gets it to Lucero. Nobi sees an opening, and he's up against 4 white shirts, and that will be his second foul.
Now, Noel, the ICC Bluehawks are really taking it to the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors in this play right here. Lucero just a little bit extra on that elbow, but he had a wide open floater for Lucero, so no need to give that extra elbow. He could have went for a floater right there.
Well, not everybody actually has the floater in their arsenal. Actually, that's a shot that you practice a lot, and I'm sure you got that in your bag of tricks, Mr. Quintong.
But I'm a bit rusty now, Noel, I gotta admit, so I gotta get back in my game.
Baka pwede ka pa mag-apply dito sa field basket as a player. Let's see how that works. Flores backdoor, taken away now by Bautista. Costelo, iwan parang Itata. Does not shoot the 3 this time. Manalang. Good patience being shown now by Pasig Santa Lucia as we approach the 3-minute mark dito sa ating first half. Manalang getting it now to Costelo. Three-pointer, and that is good for Ryan Costelo.
And this kid is small but terrible, itong si Costelo.
Lead back up to 10 for Pasig Santa Lucia as a timeout has been called by the Immaculada Concepcion College Bluehawks. But first, let's take a look at this three-pointer by Ryan Costelo, brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Ako. And we will be right back. Stay with us. Back with us here at the Muntinlupa Sports Center. And it's a lot closer than Pasig Santa Lucia would have expected. They already had a 15-point lead earlier, but then the ICC Bluehawks. Ryan Costelo is going to be called for faking a foul. Itong kupunan ng Pasig already had it up to 15, and it was down to 7. It's down to 7 again now on that three-pointer. Galang naman dito kay Jeric Garcia.
Now the Bluehawks, Noel, they're really taking it to the Realtors, keeping Pasig Santa Lucia on their toes all throughout. Big three there for ICC.
And the thing is, response has been very, very sparse coming from Pasig Santa Lucia. As Bautista continues to struggle, only one three-pointer made. He had two yesterday against San Juan. They go cross-court now onto a three-pointer. That is short. And it's tapped over. And that is another basket here coming from Jeric Garcia.
And these young guns are really hustling for every possession here. It's paying off for them so far.
Only down by 5. Good work so far for the Bluehawks. Manalang fighting Bautista this time. Hindi na ayaw ng tumira. Bautista, nice pass inside. But Tamayo blows the layup. Here comes Flores into the front court. We'd like to thank our prize money sponsor, eMedisure Pharmacy. 1 million pesos going to the champion of the PhilBasket Summer Championship. No look pass. Going over now to Garcia. Shot clock winding down, 6 to shoot. Flores lost the ball. No pressure there coming from Costelo. That's an unforced turnover against ICC.
And in that possession, well, the defense of Pasig really shifting things. They went to a 1-2-2 defense, and then mid-possession, they switched it up to a man zone. So it really caught ICC off guard.
Maganda dyan sa ginagawa ng Pasig. These kids are gonna learn from it and probably apply it on their own game plan. Again, it's a learning process. They are here not to win a championship. That's definitely not gonna happen. But they are here to learn as much as they can from the pros here in the PhilBasket. There's a drive, looping layup, galing kay Costelo, does not work. Ondoa now into the front court. Earlier he had a coast-to-coast, almost taken away by Manalang. Here's Soriano with the hook shot. It's tapped over to Ondoa, never giving up on the play.
Ganda nung second chance effort ni Ondoa doon. They just really kept in par with Pasig Santa Lucia because of their hustle points, Noel, so
It is
far.
down to 3 here, Nico. 37-34. Just over a minute remaining dito sa ating first half. Manalang airballs it. Boy, Rob Manalang is struggling today.
Yes, and one of the reasons of that struggle by Manalang is because ICC has been able to make some minor tweaks in their defense. In that last play, they went on a high 3-2 press defense dito sa Santa Lucia, so causing Manalang to make that miss.
And salamat sa Happily, and Happily is available via delivery and takeout sa Grab. You should try their food. It is amazing. I mean, we're gonna have it every day, and we're gonna be enjoying that. Rosal, three-pointer, no. Battle for the rebound. Oh, nobody back on defense, and this is going to be an easy one for Ryan Costelo.
And Costelo there, being the quicker man amongst everybody. He may be undersized, but that's one advantage he has is his speed.
39-34. Back to a 5-point lead for Pasig Santa Lucia. There is a 4-second difference between the clocks. Rosal not using the screen. Gets it over. Ondoa puts it on the floor. That's going to be a foul. And do they have a foul to give? No, they do not. So Lester Tamayo lost track of how many fouls they had. This actually cost Pasig a game last season when they forgot how many fouls they had and eventually went on to lose the game.
Yes, that's why presence of mind is very important for everybody on the floor. That's one thing I learned as a player. You really have to be alert about everything that's going on because it dictates your actions moving forward.
On the split. It's down to 4. Pasig could have the final say of this first half. Manalang creates some space but overshoots, and the struggles continue for Rob Manalang, but luckily for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, they are still on top against this very gritty and very determined ICC Bluehawks. It is 39-35 at the half, and we will be right back for more action from the Phil Basket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold. are up but only by 4 against the winless ICC Bluehawks 39-35. Noel, Zarate pa rin po. Kasama si Nico Aaron Quintong. It was a good start for guys like Jake Gaspay when they came out with a 5-0 lead, but then it was, 17-2 yung sumunod doon para sa Pasig Sta.
Yeah, so we see a lot of back and forth for both of these teams, Noel, and that's because the ICC Bluehawks have been able to start the game on the right foot. But then you see the experience of Santa Lucia Realtors being able to counter that with a 72 run. And that's why we have a close game right now, because the ICC Bluehawks are not letting up. They are not allowing these Realtors to be able to gain momentum. So the body language of the Bluehawks has translated to a lot of confidence.
Right.
And that led to them making a lot of shots. Like we see here, the field goals, 37% for Pasig Santa Lucia, while ICC 35%. So more improvement can be done on both teams. But what stands out to me, Noel, is the rebounding numbers. ICC has gone to their bread and butter. 27 big rebounds for them in this ball game and 18 inside points for ICC. So the hustle game for ICC has been able to keep them at par with Pasig Santa Lucia.
Okay, we're gonna have a correction here. I called them Immaculate Concepcion earlier. Pero ano yung totoong pronunciation, Tikboy?
Immaculada.
Yan, narinig niyo po yung kay Tikboy. Immaculada Concepcion College. College ba o kolehiyo?
Concepcion lang.
Leading scorers, Dave Moralde has gotten 10 points, the only guy in double figures so far. And Jeric Garcia and Roger Andoa have also done a great job. Andoa, of course, coming off the bench. Let's see if they can sustain that here in the third quarter. And thank you for joining us once again, Noel Zarate, alongside Nico Aaron Quintong. That is not allowed. I don't know if you call that a backing violation or there's a correct term for that one. But yun na inbound in the front court, went to the back court, and that's not a good start if you're ICC.
Yun nga, ngayon, you just have to be like a goldfish if you're ICC. Just forget that play after 10 seconds, move forward. Pero kaya importante kanina sabi ko, Noel, presence of mind talaga on all ends. Kaya you don't want to cost any unnecessary plays like that.
Of course, I'm sure a tongue lashing was given by the birthday boy, Bong de la Cruz, during the halftime break. And that's going to be a turnover, 3-second violation. Ito si Lester Tamayo was caught watching the passing.
Now, if you're ICC, Noel, you have to be able to start this quarter strong. The first few minutes are crucial for them because it will dictate their momentum going forward.
Well, just underway the ating third quarter already with 2 turnovers para sa magkabilang kupunan. Here's Rosal, now picked up by Lester Tamayo. He's got the speed advantage. Rosal pulls up over Chan. Recovery made inside. The follow-up is still not there. And finally, the green shirts come away with it. Manalang pushing it up, intercepted by Rosal. Somehow stays inbounds. Rosal, Ondoa, nobody in the lane. He decides to drive. Pulls it back, there's the stretch, the layup is a miss. However, galing dito kay Garcia.
ICC has to finish. They are getting high percentage looks at the basket, but just unable to finish.
Manalang unable to make any shot. He's got 2 points across his name. He's like 1 for 10,000 at this point. Garcia driving underneath the defense and free throws coming up. Lester Tamayo is trying to keep up with these kids. It's very difficult.
Yes, and that is what you want to do if you're ICC. You want to be able to gain the respect of this experienced Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors team. So Garcia, nice intention by him, taking it strong to the hole. It really commands a lot of respect if you're ICC.
And we did talk about Jeric Garcia coming into this contest, as we thank our friends from Cilium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. Ito ang si Garcia. In his last 3 games has been averaging 12.3 points a game and 5.3 rebounds. That is a good compliment to the numbers of Jake Gaspay.
Yes, him and Gaspay have been like Batman and Robin dito para sa ICC. Dynamic duo, I like to call them, because they've been significant contributors. A lot of their offense runs through both of them, so they're very important.
Tyrone Pierce-Chan also very important to the bench unit para kay Coach Bong de la Cruz as he knocks down the top of the key jumper. 41-36. Tandaan natin, another factor playing into this, and we mentioned this earlier, Nico, is that Pasig Santa Lucia played last night. They were the second game also of our triple header yesterday, and they had a close win against San Juan. Ibig sabihin, bumuhos sila in that victory against San Juan.
Yes, so they're playing with a lot of fatigue now, Noel. That's one thing Santa Lucia has to conquer. It's the fatigue. You played last night. You want to bring momentum from your win last night, but at the same time, you cannot get tired in this ball game.
June Manzo goes down in a heap. There was a collision in mid-air, and Rosal, and look at Gonzalez trying to protect his teammate, and there was the foul was, I believe, on Rosal, but there was also incidental contact that happened between Jared Vento and June Manzo, and both teams have to be separated.
Now, Rosal, based on that replay, it seemed he was going for the ball, Noel. So it didn't really look no intentional foul there committed by either party.
There's Rosal, and then the contact by Vento is actually what made June Manzo. Oh boy, that is a tough. Buti na lang ito si Manzo is made of really, really strong stuff. Oh, the products of the University of the Visayas in Cebu as well, where he was actually teammates with Orlan Wamar in high school.
Yes, and they have, actually yung style nila ni Wamar is very similar, Noel. They like to run the ball, they also like to shoot from outside, but they can also get physical inside the paint. So, itong si Manzo, seeing him na, parang walang nangyari sa kanya. He just fell down seconds ago, but now he's back on his feet. So that's a good sign if you're Santa Lucia.
Yeah, it's a good thing he also knows how to fall. That's an art that a lot of these kids have to learn also, especially playing at this level. Maraming banggaan. They're still reviewing this one. It's taking them a while to see if there was an incidental contact, probably a second motion. But it all looked like within the realm of basketball yung nangyaring banggaan kanina.
Yes, and I'd like this time to highlight, Noel, the physicality in this game has really shown us the brand of Filipino basketball.
That's right.
It's not soft. Filipinos like to play basketball hard, and the credit that to both teams. We're just seeing that in this game today. All throughout the first to third, it's been very physical. Kumbaga, both teams, they like to play from inside to out. Their intention is to really get physical inside the paint.
We're having a word here with our technical head, Rafi Britannico, who's saying what? A foul lang. Ayan. Double warning. Yeah, and because this is the aftermath already, so referees got this one right. I'd like to acknowledge, of course, our technical head. Rafi Britannico has been doing a spectacular job for the past 5 decades in basketball. Si Rafi Britannico, 5 decades na yan, guys, has been doing a really great job in basketball. We have to give kudos to Mr. Rafi Britannico.
Kudos. No, I mean, I don't know if you would like to highlight the 5 decades. Pero
5 decades!
It's a good sign of 5 decades. Yun nga, that's loyalty right there to the game.
And of course, we're just kidding. He is a little under 5 decades old, Nax. Di totoo yun. Manzo makes good on the first free throw. So after all of that, it was a personal foul and a couple of warnings. So yeah, tama sinasabi natin, it happened in the realm of basketball. Yung double warning, nangyari yun sa konting confrontation that happened after trying to protect each other's teammates. So again, we're still in the basketball realm. And you made this point earlier as we thank our friends from eMedisure Pharmacy, our prize money sponsor dito sa ating PhilBasket Summer Championship. At may kwento rin sa atin si Megan Cabrera.
Maraming salamat, Noel. Bago ang end ng second quarter, ang payo ni Coach Jay Agsalud para sa ICC ay pagtulong-tulungan ng depensa at huwag hayaan na lumaki ang lamang. They were successful in doing so. Now, going into the third quarter, sabi nga niya, huwag bigyan ng easy shots ang kalaban at huwag magbigay ng useless fouls. They have to keep playing hard defense in the last 20 minutes at kung gawin nila yun, hindi sila lalayo at baka manalo pa sila. Noel and Nico?
Yeah, well, that's of course going to be if itong kumpuna ng Pasig Santa Lucia doesn't start hitting their outside shots the way itong si Costelo just did. But Jake Gaspay able to get through with a three-point play opportunity.
This kid, Jake Gaspay, very patient with his offense. He has a lot of control in this replay right here. Look, an off-balance shot for Jake Gaspay. He knew he stepped 2 steps already, so the balance he had on that shot is unbelievable.
Three-point play completed. Of course, that is that replay brought to us by Smart Simple. Smart ako. Going back to the point that you were making about Philippine basketball being very physical, I think the biggest beneficiary of that would be Kuala Lumpur Asil now realizing na ganito pala ang basketball sa Pilipinas. This makes them better players, makes them a better team moving forward, especially to the Southeast Asian Games.
Yes, it's something they could use all throughout their careers, not only as a team, but even individually as players. You know what they say, you're a product of your environment. if you play in an environment that's very physical in basketball per se, then it will translate in your game. Kuala Lumpur likes to play calculated basketball.
Right.
So if you mix calculated basketball with physicality, oh, you're going to be a threat all throughout.
Well, that's exactly what Tanduay did to them yesterday. Talaga, they kept it low scoring, and they were able to pick up the victory. In the meantime, Garcia able to scoop that one in. 48-41, ICC still at the doorstep dito ng Pasig Santa Lucia.
Okay, ICC now, Noel, playing with a lot of confidence. They have good body language so far.
Costelo with a confident three earlier, not so confident in that one. Another rebound picked up by the White Shirts, and here they come. Alfred Flores splits the defense, tries to get it to Gaspay, but it's taken away. And here's Lucero to the front court, and it is a foul given up. That's actually a good foul given up by Flores. Oh, check that. That's actually by Garcia.
And Flores, Noel, he's a terrific player.
Yeah.
But in that last play, for the players watching this, when you go up like that, you go for a baseline drive. If you're going to drop it off the big man, you give it off the right hand. Because the defense was already closing out on the baseline. So if you're Flores, nice way attracting the defense, but drop it off with your right.
Salamat sa Cantigo Scoreboard Multi-Sports Scoring Solutions. As Nobi Lucero, the former perpetual point guard, under Coach Frankie Lim, makes his first free throw dito. Raised a lot of eyebrows. Who is this kid? A couple of games ago.
And this league, Phil Basket, it opens up a lot of opportunities for players like Lucero.
Yeah.
Noel, this guy, I didn't even know about him to start the tournament. But with his performance so far, he's been standing out.
Well, we keep talking about him. He keeps on doing good stuff. Lucero on the finish against another up-and-comer. Ito si Alfred Flores.
Lucero is just a pesky defender. Pesky guy. He knows how to get the ball going. He knows how to push it in transition.
Here is Garcia. Now, Jerick splits the defense. Almost gets it to go. And a foul is going to be called on Pasig Santa Lucia. That's on Lucero, yeah.
Ganda sana ng end one na yun ni Garcia. But Lucero here, pesky defense, really going at Garcia and taking it strong. Could have been an end one there for Lucero, but he's been one of the standouts for Pasig so far.
Ito yung fight fire with fire. You're up against a bunch of young kids. Put in a young kid as well. Let's see how he fares. And so far, so good para kay Nobi Lucero. Here's Jake Gaspay, the 20-year-old from Zambales. They get it outside now to Vento. Inside play, Garcia high off the glass.
Wow, that's teamwork right there. Vento, he had a good shot, but settled for the much better shot with that cutting Garcia, seeing a wide open lane.
You know, even if you're 5-0, if you're Coach Jake Absolute, you're gonna love the way your team is actually improving day by day. Costelo, left open, three-pointer. That is a big mistake. And this lead is now swelling para sa Pasig Santa Lucia. It's back up to 12. 55-43 timeout called by the ICC Bluehawks. Let's take a look at his Happily Assist delivery of the game. And Happily is available via delivery and takeout sa Grab. We are going to step away for a few moments. Back after this. Stay with us. Nobi Lucero coming off the bench continues to provide the coal for the fire para dito sa koponan ng Pasig Santa Lucia as they have now opened up a 12-point lead. 55-43, Noel Zarate along with Nico Aaron Quintong and Megan Cabrera. I'm working with the 20-somethings today dito sa ating coverage of the Phil Basket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold. And ICC, they had it down to 3 at a certain point here early in the third quarter, Nico, but now they're down by 12. Let's see how they respond. Coming off the J Absolute timeout. Here's Rosal with the left hand.
Yeah, that's right, Rosal. Look at him, Rosal. You go one-on-one, you deserve to flex for a little bit. Rosal, he said, can I have this dance? And he made sure he was the one on top. Rosal with a strong bully boy move. May patingin pa tong si Rosal.
And of course, that is our Pure Gold move of the game, brought to us by Pure Gold. So at the free throw line, Darwin James Rosal. He's like, what, 5'3" or 5'4"? I mean, he's puny. But he's as tough as nails. Missed on the free throw, however. The lead is 10 for the Realtors. Here's Lucero, sees an opening, tries to get it inside to Gonzalez outside to Tyrone Chan, who hits air.
Nice. And if you're ICC, Noel, you will need more of that. You're down by 10. They've been doing well offensively so far, but it's the defense. They have to get some stops kasi they cannot go back and forth with Pasig Santa Lucia. So they have to convert in these offensive sequences. When they get back on defense, they have to get more stops.
If itong ICC is able to hold Pasig Santa Lucia to under 100 points in this game, that's already a victory of sorts. And it looks like Pasig Santa Lucia is on pace for 80, which is a good for ICC. Happily is available via delivery and takeout via grab. Their food is phenomenal, by the way, as we have a turnover here. Here comes Rob Manalang, who just checked in for Lucero. Manzo surveying. Gets a pick from Chan. That's an erasing pick from Chan, and no defense is going to get around that pick by Chan.
Nice pick and roll action there by Manzo and Chan, and that's the luxury of a Chan on your team. The way he sets a pick, it really is a pick and roll. He leaves your defender and allowed Manzo to get that wide open floater.
I'm so looking forward to the matchup between Pasig Santa Lucia and Nueva Ecija, just to see how many picks are going to be done in that game. Another unproductive effort here for the Bluehawks. Manzo, thinking of pulling up, decides to go for that floater, which is his trademark. Well defended that time by Garcia, who's got the ball right now. 3.5 to play sa ating third quarter. Pasig Santa Lucia up by 12, 57-45, and using the hands, getting caught. Etong si JM Gonzalez.
And now ICC Bluehawks, you could see the momentum slowly shifting to the Santa Lucia Realtors, and credit that to the efforts of guys like Chan and Manzo on that last play. This is where you see, as I mentioned earlier, Noel, Pasig could play two ways. They could run, but they can also play inside. So the experience for the Realtors really taking advantage of it in this ball game.
Wilson is the official game ball of the 2022 Phil Basket, as Jake Gaspay makes the first free throw. Pinagsabay na si Gaspay at saka si Ondoa. So let's see how this is going to work. Gaspay misses the second, tracks it down, and there's going to be another foul on the Realtors. On Gonzalez, they say. And Gonzalez is amused, surprised, and beside himself.
And now, as you mentioned a while ago, Noel, pinagsabay niya tong si Gaspay and Ondoa. If you're Coach Jay Agsolud, what you want to do, having those two on the first, you really want to keep that burst of energy with your squad, because these two guys are your energizing bunnies. Tapos pinagsabay mo pa si Rosal. So you want to play fast now if you're ICC, and it's a good thing he's doing that early on in this ball game because it's only an 11-point lead.
Gaspay needs to work on his consistency sa free throw line. Coach Jake Agsolud right there, and ito ngayon si Gaspay makes nothing. So opportunity slipping out the window para dito sa kupunan ng ICC with the free throws being missed. It is still an 11-point lead for the Realtors. Manalang. Chan, inside-out action once again. Ballesteros, they move it around now. Papunta kay Costelo. As we think, Contigo Scoreboard, multi-sport scoring solutions. And the turnover leads to a layup by Ondoa.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, the energy that Ondoa brings on your squad.
Oh, how about Manzo with a big man move inside, and Tyrone Chan gets clipped.
And now the Realtors taking it hard.
Yeah, that's number 3 on Jake Gaspay. As we take a look at the last play once again, coming off the turnover, Ondoa in the open floor. That's like watching CJ Perez work.
Yes, his game is very reminiscent of a CJ Perez-like game. Ondoa likes to hustle, but he's also been an X factor for ICC, giving them the necessary energy they need moving forward.
How about the necessary steadiness coming from Tyrone Pierce Chan? And we heard another whistle here. Looks like there could be a technical foul called. Let's see. May konting sagutan ba na naganap between Rosal and Costelo? I'm not sure where this is going. Of course, our legendary announcer, as Ken said earlier, it's going to be double technical foul sa mangyayari dito. Yan, nagkaroon ng konting chismisan. At huli yung dalawa. So it's an offsetting technical, but the problem is those are personal fouls also assessed to each player.
Now you have to be careful in this part of the ball game. You don't want to commit any unnecessary fouls, and it's too early to be in the penalty for both teams. So more discipline defensively.
Well, they are both in the penalty with under 3 minutes remaining. 58-48 in terms in favor of the Pasig Sta Lucia Realtors. Rosal dancing with Chan, and he puts it in.
Okay, Rosal, I see you. Now, you know when they say you have a big man and a small guy, that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
If you're outside the paint, that serves the point guard well. Because you have the foot advantage. So Rosal really using it to his remark there.
Lumabas nga dun, di na pumalag si Chan. That's a bad pass by Manalang. And ito si Costelo could have picked it up earlier, but they're gonna have a baseline inbound ang mangyayari dito para sa ICC Bluehawks as Tata Bautista checks back in. Manalang has just not been in his element today.
Yes, yes. And credit that to the defense of ICC, Noel. They've been able to disrupt his rhythm early on. They started with a high 3-2 press. And when you do a high 3-2 press, that limits the productivity of your point guards.
So this baseline inbound, ito didikit na naman dito ang kupunan ng ICC if they can make a basket here. Rosales had the hot hand so far in the second half. Now being watched by Costelo. Picked up now by Ballesteros. He did this to Chan earlier. Let's see what he does to Ballesteros. Another step back. There he goes again. Rosal is really taking on the big guys of Pasig Sta Lucia.
Noel, you don't have to have a fire extinguisher beside you, right? Because this guy's flaming hot. Rosal, another mismatch, and we see he could dance with any kind of big man.
Darwin James Rosal, pinagpag si Chan, ngayon pinagpag ang dating Gilas member na si Jason Ballesteros. Three-pointer, that is good. Well, you talk about a fire extinguisher, that's exactly what Ryan Costelo's got.
Yeah, he probably has it with him now, Noel. I should ask it from him because he just put out the fire of ICC on that last play. But nice sequence of action we're seeing from both teams so far.
But the momentum still with the Bluehawks. They have possession. 1 minute and 20 remaining in the third. The lead is 9 for Pasig Sta Lucia. Rosal this time dishes it off to Andoa. And Andoa gets to the free throw line. Some late reaction coming from Clark Bautista.
And we are seeing some lapses from Pasig Sta Lucia defensively. Like in this replay, Rosal, can I have this dance?
Oh my goodness.
And he says, yes, sir, but I will not dance with you until I make this shot. So Rosal just taking advantage of that mismatch.
Rosal is about 5'5". He just took on a 6'2" Tyrone Pierce and a 6'7" Jason Ballesteros. As Andoa, yung ano talaga dito, yung momentum and of course yung kumpiyansa na pumupunta dito sa kupunan ng ICC is just becoming off the charts here in the second half as well. As Andoa makes good on 2. And they're still gonna try Rob Manalang. You know, if you're Coach Bong De La Cruz, you're having a bad day, play out of it.
Yes, yes. And as a coach, that's very important. The continuous belief you give in your players. Despite them not getting rhythm, you always want to feel the belief your coach has in you. So that's why he put Manalang back on the floor.
Only 2 points for Manalang, and he scored that in the first quarter. Here's Costelo. He is on fire.
And this is what's hurting ICC, Noel, in this game. They've had good sparks on offense, but they cannot allow Santa Lucia to get their rhythm offensively.
Ballesteros doing what he does best, stop people at the rim. In the meantime, Soriano able to score as we think Cilium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. ICC still down by 8.
Now they have
56, yeah.
Now they have a 2-3 zone defense, forcing Santa Lucia to settle for the outside shots.
And Costelo, that's a rare miss for him. In the meantime, Soriano couldn't hang on to it. So with 26.8 remaining in the third. And Gaspay is going to take a breather. So we're going to have Apin Duarte seeing his first action. And Soriano is also going to take a breather. So Joshua Monares will see his first action. Shot clock and game clock separated by about 13 seconds. Manalang. Costelo on the spin. Rob Manalang, three-pointer. That is still off. Rob Manalang only had 8 points yesterday in the victory against San Juan. In fact, as we mentioned earlier, June Manso, the only guy in double figures with 18, but a bunch of them with 8 points para sa kupunan ng Pasig Sta Lucia.
Yes, and if you're Santa Lucia, as I mentioned, on paper, they are stacked roster. That's why even if guys like Manalang aren't playing well, other guys could step up.
Like this guy, June Manso. But he misses from the outside. Battle for the rebound. Flores steps it over to Ondoa. And this will be a touchdown. Oh, he could have scored there to get the last shot, but he took his time and lost the opportunity to si Roger Ondoa. But it is still a close game, as at the end of 3, it is Pasig Sta up 64-56. Let's take a look at Ryan Costelo, who lit it up here. He's got 17 in the game, 5 3-pointers so far, and he's been really dousing water on the rally aspirations of the ICC Bluehawks. Let's see if ICC has still something left in the fourth quarter. We will have that for you when we return. Roger Ondoa has been playing very well para dito sa koponan ng ICC Bluehawks, but they still find themselves down by 8 heading into the payoff period. 64-56, Pasig Sta up by 8. Noel Zanate, kasama pa rin po si Nico Aaron Quintong with Megan Cabrera from the Muntinlupa Sports Center, and Ryan Costelo with a miss. Pasig Sta just managed to win quarter number 3, thanks of course to Ryan Costelo. So stepping out of bounds dito para sa koponan ng ICC. Pasig gets the ball back. Tata Bautista, this is the most minutes I've seen Tata play all season long. He actually had less than 8 minutes yesterday, produced 6 points. It won't be long, for produced 8 points rather. It won't be long before he gets into the groove. He's a known shooter. Manalang, Tata, 3-pointer, on cue!
And that is why you put him in the ball game, Noel. Tata Bautista, even during his days with the UST Growling Tigers, he's always been known to be a sharp shooting guard. And what's amazing about Tata, Noel, he could play a point guard, he could play shooting guard.
Yeah, definitely high basketball IQ. That's the second 3-pointer of this game. Back up to an 11-point lead para sa Pasig Sta. Alfred Flores running out of time. Can't get it to go. Soriano momentarily had it, lost it, and the follow-up is good. Para naman dito kay Apin Duarte.
Nice. The second chance points now for ICC at 12. So very hard-working group of guys here.
You sort of like what you're still seeing here. Oh, Manzo missing the easy one. And Chan had it poked away by Flores. But usually you root for the underdog, and in this case, it's a bunch of kids from the Immaculada Concepcion College in Bulacan. That's a 3-pointer. And Tata is starting to get his mojo back, right?
Yes, yes. It will be beautiful to see him get in rhythm because he's a player, Noel, that could light it up from anywhere in the court. And when that guy gets going, speaking of Tata Bautista, it's going to cause a lot of problems no matter who you are.
Has had finals experience, of course, under Bong de la Cruz at the University of Santo Tomas as well. He and Jeric Teng were teammates when they went to the finals twice. Here is Costelo. 3-pointer good, 20 points in the game for Ryan Costelo.
And that was terrific down screen action there by Pasig Santa Lucia. The pin down they set up for Costelo, prompting him to get that wide open 3.
What's up, Megan Cabrera?
I was able to talk with the coaches and listen in on the huddle of ICC, and right now coach is not happy dahil nawawala ang depensa nila. Kailangan nilang bumawi sa fourth quarter at labanan talaga ang mga veterano. Now, as an update also on the bench of Pasig, they are missing Jason Nimes, who is out due to general body pain, and Jelovito is also out due to a left knee injury. Still undergoing rehab, nothing too serious, and both of them are expected to go back to playing by their next game. Noel and Nico?
Thank you very much for that update. Of course, pagdating sa depensa, and this is what pinag-uusapan na rin sa ICC. This is going to be a review of that last play. It looked like it was over the head kasi. Here's the June Manso drive, and then I think itong si Flores was going for the ball naman, although duman siya over the shoulder. I don't think there was anything malicious, but now they will say, because he was over the shoulder, it's an unsportsmanlike foul.
Yes, I mean, the intent may not have been on purpose if you're Flores. It's just a natural instinct kasi for Flores to be able to commit that foul. But he went above the shoulder. That's why it's an unsportsmanlike foul para dito sa ICC.
Apparently, he was deemed not to be going for the ball, and upon review, the reward is 2 free throws plus ball possession to Pasig Santa Lucia. And even if we have 8 minutes and 16 remaining in the fourth quarter, you can feel the word deflation coming into the vocabulary of ICC.
Yes, and credit that to the people we like to call zone busters, Noel. Guys like Ryan Costelo, guys like June Manzo, Tata Bautista, they have been able to be the zone busters para dito sa Santa Lucia Realtors. And every time ICC had momentum, they just killed it off the bat.
Di pa nga binabalik si Dave Moralde, who hit 2 3-pointers earlier. Here's Tata, who's got 2 of his own as well. Manzo, shot clock at 3. Manalang on the drive. June Manzo for 3. Big shot for the former UP Fighting Maroon.
And now momentum is on the Realtors side after that shot by June Manzo.
Ito kaya si Garcia met at the rim by Lester Tamayo, and Tamayo was able to block that one.
And this is where we see the experience of the Realtors kick in, Noel. Manalang, excellent patience kicking it out to Manzo for that high-quality shot.
And that, of course, is brought to us by Smart Simple, Smart Ako. Manalang out of the scrum with it. Into the front court, 3-on-2. Sabi ni Manzo, let's pull up for 3. Why not? Why not? Why not? The confidence of the Realtors now sky high as they have built a 20-point lead, their largest in the game, 78-58. Earlier it was Ryan Costelo, now June Manzo joins the Rainbow Party. We will be back. Stay with us. This is our continuing coverage of the Phil Basket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold. June Manzo is having a this normal game pa rin today. He had 18 points yesterday, but he continues to sizzle here for the Realtors, Nico.
Yes, now June Manzo with 19 points, 6 of 13 shooting, 46% from the field. So June Manzo has been clicking on all cylinders, and that's been a key factor for the momentum of the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors.
We have Soriano manufacturing free throws, and it's at this point also that it becomes no longer a team game. It's going to be an individual game. Who will get player of the game honors? Who will get interviewed by Megan Cabrera? Will it be Ryan Costelo or will it be June Manzo?
That's why Costelo and Manzo are making this job very tough for me right now, Noel. Because, I mean, look, you have Manzo. He has 19 points in 18 minutes of play. Ito naman si Costelo has 20 points in 22 minutes of play. So it will be a tough decision later on to see who gets player of the game.
Well, we'd like to thank our friends from Celium Fiber, manufactured by Leone Agri Corporation. So Costelo is going to take a seat. So titignan natin ngayon how Pasig Santa Lucia keeps this up. They are up by 19 points. And again, the goal for ICC is to keep Pasig from scoring 100 points because they're allowing 107 points a game. And at the rate the three-point shooting is going for Pasig Santa Lucia, that will be a tall order now.
And this is where we see, Noel, how well-rounded of a team Pasig Santa Lucia is.
Garcia can't answer. And the rebound picked up once again by Tyrone Chan. Manalang has been too busy playmaking to look for his points, but this time goes for the floater, and even that misses. Manzo recovers. Tata, another 3. That's short. And Ondoa gets it. 6.5 remaining in the 4th. Flores, Soriano bobbles, lost possession, and here comes Tata Bautista, and this will be a touchdown for Pasig Santa Lucia. And ICC is going to use their final timeout of this game. Down by 24 points, 83 to 59. As Pasig Santa Lucia is going to up their averages. We're going to talk about their league ranks when we return, but this is definitely going to change at the end of this game. Timeout. Babalik po kami. We're mentioning about the numbers of Pasig Santa Lucia heading into this game. They're actually almost dead last in 5 categories dito sa PhilBasket. Of course, this is only their 4th game, but etong Pasig Santa Lucia is 11th in points per game at 75. That's been eclipsed already. Field goal percentage, they are 11th. Only ICC is lower than them at 12 a game. Pagdating sa rebounds, they are 11th, and they're going up against the #1 rebounding team in the league. I'm not surprised if ICC is still leading in that category at this point, but itong glaring para sa Santa Lucia. They are 12th, dead last in assists sa liga with 14.7. ICC is 11th in the league, and they have 2 more assists than Pasig Santa Lucia. So we're talking about this during the break. Something, of course, this looks impressive para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, that they're leading right now by 24 points. But if they can't improve on their rebounding and their assists, they're going to be in trouble moving forward, no matter how good their team looks on paper.
Yes, and not to discredit this ICC Bluehawks, Noel, but moving forward, they will be going up against much more heavyweights in this tournament. Kaya they have to improve their rebounding numbers. They have to improve their points in the paint. But what's been a factor for them is the bench points, all-around production, and that's why they have a big lead.
At salamat sa eMedisure Pharmacy, our prize money sponsor. Dito po sa PhilBasket Summer Championship, 1 million pesos going to the champion, as itong si Alfred Flores with a block on Dave Moralde. So here we are talking about Pasig Santa Lucia. As we take a look at this last play once again, our instant replay brought to us by Smart, Simple, Smart Ako. That's a volleyball spike galing dito kay Alfred Flores as we move into this timeout. 83 to 61, a 22-point lead for the Realtors. And we will be back. There's, of course, Boss Buddy Encarnado taking in the action. His squad is about 5-45 away from picking up their 3rd consecutive victory. Rob Manalang, non-factor today, but it really won't matter at the end as we have Alfred Flores scooting in for the layup. Another stat that I'd like to point out, one of the reasons why Pasig Santa Lucia is actually primed for probably the playoffs is because they are the #1 team in the league in taking care of the ball. Only 11.3 turnovers a game. At bagito itong team, meaning they debuted late, and that's actually a good testament to how they work together as a team by taking care of the ball.
Yes, and that goes to show, Noel, the experience of each of these players individually. Kasi most of these guys, they've played together in their UAP days. They've gone against each other in the UAP. So they know each other's styles. And familiarity is really an advantage for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. because they're able to rotate the ball, be very smart and deliberate with their offense. So that speaks on the maturity of the Realtors all throughout this tournament.
And look at this, Rob Manalang, non-factor on offense, continues to be the point guard and finally gets his first field goals in the first quarter. Pero yun na nga, yung kumpiyansa na binibigay sa akin, tandaan natin the coaching staff of Santa Lucia, Bong de la Cruz, a heady point guard in his day, Ogie Gumatay, national team, also a member of the UP Fighting Maroons. These are two heady point guards and they know, pag yung point guard mo medyo matamlay or medyo inaalat, ibabad mo, then let them play out of it.
Yes, as a coach, that's what you want to do, Noel. You want to keep your belief in your players. Despite them having an off night, it's very important you give them the opportunity to get their rhythm back.
20-point lead now para sa Pasig Santa Lucia after that Gaspay layup. 87-67. Here is Chan. Silent efficiency as well coming from Tyrone Chan.
And Tyrone Chan has been an X factor in this game, Noel. His ability to score inside the paint and shoot outside has really stretched the offense for the Realtors.
Here's Rosal. Missing from the outside. Another offensive rebound picked up here by Jake Gaspay. Gaspay with a major sidestep. Can't get it to go. Garcia. These guys are still probably going to get their usual numbers. Gaspay, Garcia, Flores, the guys we were talking about earlier. But again, the win continues to be elusive. Itong kuponan ng ICC Bluehawks will drop to 0-6.
Yes, but if you're ICC, not to take any credit, not to take any credit as that beautiful move there by Lucero, but not to take any credit away from ICC. They have done a terrific job keeping in step with the Realtors.
Lucero picks it up once again. He's got Moralde on the wing, drops it off to Dave at the last second. And again, the task here for ICC was to keep Pasig Santa Lucia under 100. That's not going to happen. Gaspay runs into Chan, looking for a foul, and Chan just stood his ground. Under 3 minutes remaining in what will be win number 3 for the Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors. Opened their season with a loss, picked up a win against Muntinlupa, then picked up a very rousing and emotional victory yesterday against the San Juan Knights, and will pick up this big win against the ICC Bluehawks as we have Garcia scooting in on the other side. And again, final score na lang po hinihintay natin dito as itong Pasig Santa Lucia is up by 22 points. Entry pass ngayon, Chan. It's going to be a foul given up here by Dave Moralde. Not sure if they're going to call this an advantage foul. That's exactly what they're going to look at right now. If that was an advantage foul, because there were two teammates already up front. As we take a look at the happily assist delivery of the game, Nobi Lucero finding Dave Moralde, and that of course is brought to us by Happily, which is available via delivery and takeout sa Grab. So they are still reviewing right now if that would be a breakaway foul, as it is called. Sometimes it's called an advantage foul. Apparently there were two white shirts already in the front court, so there is merit to this review. Now, for the record, no one's in the penalty yet.
If you're ICC, Noel, this is a lot to learn from moving forward in this ball game. As I mentioned earlier, a young core group of players for ICC, and I appreciate the way they started the game. They were able to keep in step with the Realtors, but just unable to close the gap with Santa Lucia. But you have to give credit to the way they've been playing this ball game.
Okay, so this in FIBA pala, you know, it is called an unsportsmanlike foul. As we see this one again, look at this. Gaspay and another teammate was already in the front court. Walang defenders there anymore. So that constitutes what we call in the PBA as an advantage foul. But in FIBA, it's called an unsportsmanlike foul. So it will be Rosal, the aggrieved party at the free throw line. Missed on the first. Again, ICC, this will be their 6th game. They still have 5 games remaining. Sino kaya madadali nila? I mean, sort of look for them to pick up at least one win. You have to remember last season at the in Subic, you know, itong kupunan ng Muntinlupa defenders failed to win a single game. Although they did have a few close ones. Will that be the fate of ICC here? We will find out. They still have 5 games remaining. Garcia gets it out. Flores open for 3. Tyrone Chan doing a little bit of everything today. Here's Nobi Lucero once again into the front court. Uh-oh, Lucero's going to keep this. Nope. Gets it out now. And that is taken away. Last 2 minutes po tayo. Hatid sa atin ang Smart, Simple, Smart ako. And another basket para dito kay Rosal.
Nice basket there by Rosal. If you're ICC, Noel, you want to finish this game strong. Because you know what they say, start strong, finish strong. So even if you lose this game, you don't want to commit any unnecessary fouls or turnovers. You just want to end on a high mark.
Well, neither team in the penalty. Rosal's going to be tagged for this foul. Para sa Pasig Santa Lucia, we have our first look now. Para naman dito kay Erwin Van Peña. And Rosal, you see that one again. Timeout's going to be called here by Bong de la Cruz. I guess they're going to talk about where they will be having dinner tonight. 93-74. Pasig Santa Lucia up by 19. And you can see the commissioner right there. Itong si Commissioner Jai Reyes, our president and founder, with Rafi Britannico. And of course, Mr. Dino Lee. And of course, Tick Boy was also in the shot doon. So everybody's handsome in that shot. Oh, Alfred Flores with a handsome three.
And Alfred Flores, he's been a spark for ICC, giving them the burst of offense they need when necessary. But this is a lot they can learn from in this game dito, Noel.
Well, they're still at 93 as Peña steps back and hits that one. That's a deuce.
Okay, Peña, that's an introduction.
Flores. Some hang time moves, some highlight moves here from Alfred Flores. He's had a few in this game. Take a look at this again. You know, very athletic kid. This guy's actually probably, you know, if he just bulks up a bit, he's gonna have a future in the pros, huh?
Oh, yes, yes. He could gain a little more mass to him, Noel,
Yeah.
so when he gets in the paint. But to all the players watching this, I just want to highlight that move by Flores. When you get up in the air like that, you have to make sure you have a lot of control going to the basket. So to all the varsity guys watching this, that's something you could add to your bag.
Well, you know, they call it upper body strength, the way he finished that. And that's probably innate with the smaller guys because they know they're going to get hit a lot.
Yes, that's very important for any guard.
Oh, it's an 8-second violation. Lucero walked that one up. For Pasig Santa Lucia, they debuted on April 1. The league started on March 18. And they are playing in their 4th game, and they're going to get their 3rd win. How about that?
And credit to their head coach and the entire staff.
Yeah.
Because in a short amount of time, Noel, to be able to develop that chemistry and come up with now their 3rd win of the tournament, they have been able to perform really well so far.
Well, you know what, guys like Ryan Costelo, pati na rin si Rob Manalang, they were together in the MPBL. It's just meshing with the new guy, itong si Jun Manzo, who came from San Juan. And obviously, these are 3 point guards with high basketball IQ that they said, okay, we'll just work together. And it's so far been working para sa kanila. We have some garbage points now coming from Errol Soriano. That's 2 in a row for him. And it looks like Lucero, let's see, just sabi ni Peña, tama na. They're going to take this 12-point win. It's not as big as they wanted. They did not hit the century mark, but a win is a win. And you know Coach Bong de la Cruz, no frills. He's just going to get as many wins as he can, no matter how he can. And this time it will be a 95-83 victory para sa Pasig Santa Lucia Realtors, their 3rd consecutive game, as the Immaculada Concepcion College Bluehawks will now drop to 0-6. It can't really be back to the drawing board, Nico, because a lot of positives were seen in this game para sa ICC.
Yes, the ICC Bluehawks, Noel, are a young core group of players. So, a lot of upside for them moving forward in the future. Not to take away any credit from Coach Jay Agsalud and his players, but they can just continue to grow as a team and as individuals. They started off this game with the right kind of confidence, the right kind of body language, and that is why they will be a force to be reckoned with moving forward. But the Santa Lucia Realtors, have just been the team that showed that they have a lot of prowess both offensively and defensively.
And of course, alam naman natin, pinaghirapan natin yung pagpili ng player of the game. Actually, Nico had that unenviable task. He listed down 2 names, but since one name was already feted yesterday, we will go to the guy who really put out the fires na sinisimula ng ICC Bluehawks in the second half. It is our player of the game, etong si Ryan Costelo, and he is with Megan Cabrera.
Maraming salamat, Noel and Nico. Kasama natin ngayon, Ryan Costelo. Ryan, most of your points actually came from the second half na kung saan nakatulong ka para palakihin ang margin nyo between ICC. Ano masasabi mo tungkol sa laro mo?
Yung laro kasi na-ensayo ko yun, every practice namin talagang pinaghihirapan ko yun. So, ayun, lumabas yung resulta ngayong game namin.
Alright, and we have this little guy over here. Ano masasabi mo na nandito ang isa sa mga biggest supporters mo?
Siyempre masaya dahil lagi sila nakasuporta ng asawa ko.
Okay, meron ka bang gustong batiin? Mga friends, family, at mga fans na sumusuporta?
Binabati ko yung family ko sa barangay, yung mga ate ko, yung papa ko, yung family ng asawa ko, yung mga tropa ko dyan sa Marikina, Amba Boys, sila Ayan. Tsaka binabati ko pala yung Durings, Panina, Boss Ronnie, Ekasa, Boss Jeff Maninit, Metro Asia, Boss Perry, Boss Albert, tsaka si Boss Buddy. Yan.
Alright, maraming salamat, Ryan. And mukhang magbabasketball na rin ang little boy na ito. Back to you, Noel and Nico.
Thank you very much. That was our pure gold player of the game, Ryan Costelo, engineering or helping engineer the Pasig Sta Realtors to this 95-83 victory. Their 3rd straight win, and ICC now falls to 0-6. But stay right there because our 3rd game is coming up. 2 win streaks at stake here. Family's Brand Sardines at Tommy Sardines Zamboanga taking on the AFP Cavaliers. And we will have that for you when we return. Stay with us with our continuing coverage of the PhilBasket Summer Championship presented by Pure Gold.